Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Miss Melnick's Tiny Desk Bedtime Stories. I'm in my office and I'm ready to read to you. So this is another really cool, really old book. This book, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, don't worry. This book is another, like I said, it's a really old book. And on the inside it says, "To Henry A. Rentschler, with love from Grandma Beckett." And this was given as a gift to my uncle in April of 1937. And here we are in April of 2020. I'm just going to read to you the first couple of pages of the story of Alice in Wonderland. So I'm going to read you this old-fashioned version, but I want you to know that also on myON, you can find a much more interesting, modern graphic novel version of Alice in Wonderland. So here we go. Chapter 1, Down the Rabbit Hole. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. "What's the use of a book," thought Alice, "without pictures or conversations?" So she was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the hot day made her feel very sleepy and stupid, whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisies, when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it so very much out of the way to hear a rabbit say to himself, oh dear, I shall be too late." When she thought it over afterwards, it occurred to her that she ought to have wondered at this. But at the time, it all seemed quite natural. But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of his waistcoat pocket and looked at it and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it, and burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it, and fortunately was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. So boys and girls, this book goes on and on and on. This is a wonderful story, and if you go to myON, you can find the graphic novel version of it, and it will also link to an AR test. So boys and girls, I want you to notice that when you go to myON and you type in the word Alice, A-L-I-C-E, you're going to find these books will come up. There's Alice in Wonderland, a graphic novel version, Alice in Wonderland, which is basically the story that I just read to you, part of the story that I just read to you, Through the Looking Glass, which is one of the chapters from this book, or this book that's kind of interesting, that is the inspiration behind the real Alice in Wonderland. So I hope that when you wake up in the morning, you go on myON and maybe take an AR test. But until then,